an immigrant found dead after ICE decides to leave her stranded. Put her up full mask. Haitian immigrant found dead after ICE agents decided to leave her stranded like they did the guy who was legally blind. Daphy Michel, 31-year-old asylum seeker, was found unresponsive at a Pittsburgh bus shelter. This was shortly after 10 a.m. This took place on March 2nd. Her older brother, Carlo, is now looking for answers. Following her sudden death after she was handed over to ICE, she was in the custody of ICE following her release from the Washington County Jail. Very similar circumstances as the man they left stranded before. This was confirmed by Pittsburgh Action News Channel 4. Daphy Michel was paroled into the United States through a legal port of entry. This took place December 14th, 2022, meaning she entered under a discretionary authorization that allows a non-citizen to enter the country for urgent humanitarian reasons. She was confirmed to appear before a judge in Florida on April 16th for a hearing on her immigration case. Put her picture back up. She was in the United States of America legally, under a legal authorization, authorized and with a pending court date. Before her death, Michelle was at the Washington County Jail, Washington, Pennsylvania, for nearly 6 months on a $10,000 bond. Court documents show that one of her neighbors reported she was experiencing mental health episodes in September of last year. After having her preliminary hearing continued 7 times while awaiting a mental health evaluation, she finally appeared before a judge on the 26th of February. You have the convergence of multiple systems that are dysfunctional. Number one, the system of immigration itself and the lack of humanity in which it is being administered. We have a failing and somewhat non-existent mental health apparatus in the United States of America. And then the affordability issue. If there is an opportunity, access is denied because of affordability. She's in jail because of money. If she has $10,000, she's out. The bond, $10,000. At the hearing, the judge dismissed Michelle's 2 misdemeanor harassment and threat charges, according to WTAE News. Her brother was relieved. Her brother waited for the call of his sister's release to be processed. However, just 4 days after the dismissal of her charges, he would instead receive a call from UPMC Hospital. A doctor asked if he recognized Daphy Michel, and after notifying them that this is my sister, the doctor and an interpreter gave him the unfortunate news of her passing. According to the doctor, her death was due to cardiac arrest. There's more. The Washington County Public Defender's Office stated that Michelle had an ICE detainer on her file. A formal request from ICE that the agency be notified before an individual is released from law enforcement custody or jail. So ICE confirmed that day. After Michelle's charges were dismissed, she was enrolled in the agency's, quote, Alternatives to Detention program. Alternatives to Detention program. At the ERO Pittsburgh office. She was placed on reporting requirements through electronic monitoring while her original immigration proceedings remain pending. Okay, so that's part of the official narrative from them. Based on reporting, Michel was released into ICE custody on a Friday. That was the 27th of February. Following her release from the county jail at 100 West Cherry Avenue. She was then transported roughly an hour away to the ICE Pittsburgh office on 3000 Sydney Street. Because she had not broken any immigration law. Once again, she's in the United States legally. Because she had not broken any immigration law, she was not processed for a detained deportation. Why is she there? Instead, she was placed on something called the Alternative to Detention Program. It's called freedom. What is the alternative to detention? Freedom. Possibly being taken 5 minutes away to the ISAP office on 2500 James Street. Now, according to immigration and civil rights attorney Joseph Murphy, who is working with Carlo, a private contractor, is paid to put ankle monitors on non-citizens with pending immigration cases at the ISAP office. Michel was placed under surveillance via an ankle monitor. At some point, she was released and then found dead on Monday. Michel lived at least an hour away from the ICE Pittsburgh office. There are many questions left to be answered to specify the exact details between her release into ICE custody and her death. Her complete autopsy and toxicology results may take several weeks, and we're going to stay on top of this. It's not difficult to find out what happened because according to their own protocol, she was under digital surveillance via the ankle monitor. But once again, why is she there? Why is she there? And now it's taking time to look at a monitor. Let's put it this way. If this was someone they wanted to deport, they would know exactly the travel route of the individual. But when it comes to figuring out how to apply proper justice to somebody who's deceased, never should have been caught up in the immigration scheme at all of a sudden, the private contractor, no comment. All right, dear brother, thoughts here?
I mean, this whole story, I think, is just emblematic of how much this administration is failing and in how many ways. It's a tragic situation. It's horrible that it should have never happened. I think the only point that that came up for me while you were talking about this is there is this idea that mental health and physical health are somehow separated or exclusive from one another. And I don't think that's the case at all. This woman had been put through the ringer already. She has a history of mental health episodes. She should have had support for that. The idea that mental health is something that can be sort of shoved to the side because it's not convenient for this administration, I think is terrible. It's also not just this administration. It's as a nation, I don't think we're taking care of the people here. And I think that if we took an effort to do that, situations like this might not happen. But that said, ultimately, this comes down to her being detained for reasons that were completely, so far as I can tell, illegal. So it's horrible, and I hope that her brother can find some information and some justice, hopefully.
Yeah, well said. We'll bring you updates as they develop.